Earth family. So this morning I was having a fantastic workout. I've gone a few weeks where I haven't managed to incorporate exercise into my daily routine. I suppose what I've been doing is making excuses not to. I've been making myself too busy. Don't get me wrong, there's times when life can get in the way. Certain things have to take priority. But as of this last couple of days, I've been making sure I'm getting back into even if I'm just doing a bit of yoga every day, or if I'm managing to have a bit more of a power workout. Now the reason for me when I do these workouts, when I exercise, for me, it's not just about how I look. Don't get me wrong, you know, if you've got a wardrobe full of clothes in a certain size and if they start getting tight on you and no, you don't look as good as them anymore, but more than anything, you don't feel good in them anymore. If they're pulling in tight on you, they're making you feel uncomfortable. And as I've said before, I'm not somebody who kind of has money to just go spending on a whim to buy more clothes as and when I need to. I have to make do a lot of the time with what I've got. Therefore, I do need to try and not get any bigger, so that those clothes still fit me, so to speak. So yeah, that is one of the reasons. But more than anything, for me, it's about how I start to feel in myself. When I start to get slightly bigger, you might hear or see other people, or you might be somebody who knows me and think, oh, you never really get that much bigger. But it's how you feel in yourself. And for me, if I'm feeling bloated, if I'm feeling a bit puffy, time of the month, whatever it is, it does sort of pull me down a bit. I don't feel comfortable when I'm sat down. I genuinely don't feel comfortable within myself. So for me, it's more about how I feel. When I don't exercise for so long, my back gets quite weak. You know, I have quite a heavy chest, and if I don't keep my back strong, my back gets quite weak, and I start getting a bit of back pain. Well, for some people, they might say, when they start feeling pains and everything, that this is the time when they're going to take time out from exercising, because they think that they're going to hurt themselves even more. And I'm not saying ignore your pains and just get on with it, but listen to your body and actually, what is it your body is telling you? There's probably still something you can do, whether it's just taking the dogs for a walk, having a nice stroll on your own through the park, whether it's doing a little bit of gentle exercise, doing a bit of yoga to stretch your muscles and your joints out. I'm sure there's always something that you can do. And you know what? Just make time to move your body. Just move your body. Even if you just, after a tiring day and you just sat at home and you're watching a bit of TV, circle your ankles, move your shoulders, do something. Not constantly. Yeah, you do need to take a bit of time out where you're not doing much at all, but to make time to do something is what's important. And make it fun. Some people have this mindset that exercise is this tedious, horrible, strenuous thing that we have to do if we want to look good, if we want to be accepted. Sorry, my cat's over there doing something. Okay, so if you can start to change your mindset as to why you're exercising in the first place, just make it a fun, pleasurable thing to do. There's some fantastic DVDs out there that you can move your body to. I love Billy Blank's Tybo. So he's this great guy who is so full of energy, and yeah, he's American, and he's like, yeah, come on, move your body, but he hypes you up, and it's a Tybo DVD. So as you're following it, the first few times I ever did this DVD, going back a few years ago, I just remember I couldn't stop laughing throughout the whole thing. I was just giggling to myself constantly because I was laughing at myself trying to keep up with this guy, laughing at myself thinking, oh my goodness, if anyone could see me right now, what do I look like? You know, even just watching myself, I was making myself giggle. But that's okay, because it was fun, it was exciting, it was just making me laugh from my belly. And laughing as well is also burning calories. It's also part of moving your body. So, you know, if you're having a bit of a laugh, get together with some friends, do some workout DVD together. And the more different other instructors and DVDs and things like that you watch and you're trying to follow, you'll start to pick up some signature moves that just stick in your head. And with that, then you can just, sometimes what I do now, you know, I've been exercising for years with different instructors, with different trainers, watching different DVDs, and from all of that I have, you know, there are certain moves that stick with me, that I know work well with me, and which I know work my body, and I can remember how to do them, more importantly. So sometimes I just put some music on and I do my own thing. Whatever comes to me at the time, I just do it. You don't have to spend money on joining gyms or buying expensive equipment. There's stuff that you can just do at home, whether it's along with a DVD or whether it's just making it up as you go along. Put a bit of music on and just have a boogie in the mirror, you know, whatever it is. But just feel the joy of having freedom of your body, of moving your body, even if it's just a little bit. Move your body. Now you're probably thinking, well, this is someone who normally talks about spiritual stuff and teachings and wisdom, how to help you develop yourself, how to help you open yourself, be more aware of other people, be more aware of yourself, connected with the higher sources. But you know what? This is all part of it. Moving your body, it is all part of everything we're about. I've done another video where it talks about the importance of the mind, body and soul, and everything staying in perfect balance. And if one is out of balance slightly, it's going to have an impact and a knock-on effect to the other parts of our that make up our entire being. So keeping the body active, keeping the body strong, supple, healthy is all part of us maintaining also a good mind, and it is also feeding the soul. So I have a great friend who's fantastic, and she makes me laugh all the time, called Louise Adams. Now if you subscribe to her YouTube page as well, she's got a few videos up there. She's a personal trainer, and she also gives advice on nutrition. She's great at baking and cooking, and she's always doing a little cooking up a little something. And because I'm vegan, she will often experiment with some healthy little, or try to make them as healthy as possible, little cakes and buns and things, and she brings them for me, which are all healthy and vegan. She's a great lady, and she'll make you laugh. Now she's a personal trainer and instructor. She works in the Dagenham and Havering area and in Essex. I'm not sure she works in part of London, but anyway, she's starting to do some online consultations with people also, where she can give nutritional advice, and she can also give a consultation, like where you're wanting to be at in yourself, what your goals are as a person, what it is you want to achieve through your exercise, through your diet, and she'll be able to help you. She's very good at what she does, and anybody who's ever done her classes will vouch for her there. She has a lot of followers, and she's admired by many. She's even performed in front of the Queen. Yes, she has given her expertise advice to the Queen when it comes to working out. She has met the Queen. The Queen has been to see her work as well. So yeah, even the Queen can vouch for her. What more can you want? So I'm gonna put a link in for her, or just put the details for her to the description of this video, so you can add her. You can subscribe to her YouTube page, Lulu Fitness, and you can also add her on Facebook, Louise Adams, and go on her public Facebook page to get in contact with her if you would like. And that is also Lulu Fitness, Lou Fitness. So yeah, she's a fantastic lady, and she will work well with whoever goes to her. But like I said, it's so important to just move your body, just keep it supple. You know, energy in itself, energy that comes in, certain stresses, you know, we get this build up when stress comes in. If life becomes quite hectic, and we're feeling quite stressed over a prolonged period of time, we start to get these aches and pains in our shoulders, the back muscles start to feel tight, the neck, we start to get pains in our neck. At some point, we've all probably had a little bit of this, and we don't, you know, we might think, oh, I've pulled it in the night, or because whatever excuses we give for these pains, and more likely, whether it's through tissue damage, muscle damage, whether it's through stress that's building up a pressure in those certain areas of the body, what that pain is ultimately, what is causing that is energy. It's clogged up, trapped energy that has gathered in these certain areas of the body. And the best way to remove that energy is to give it movement, so we can start to ease that energy away. We're massaging it out gently through movement, through massage, you know, using the different oils, and you know, if you've got somebody kind enough to massage you, or if you can go pay for a massage somewhere, that is all going to help as well. But more than anything, moving your body. I'm sure many of you have heard of the fantastic Dr. Wayne Dyer, who I say sadly passed away last year, though it's only sad because we don't have him here to hear his wonderful voice and the new wisdoms that he would bring quite often, the wonderful inspirational talks that he'd give to people, the books that he's put out, many books that he's written to help people on their journey. However, he has left a legacy of knowledge that we can all draw on. He's got so many YouTube videos that you can watch. He's brought out a couple of movies. He's got so many books that you can read. He's fantastic. My husband especially was quite saddened by his passing into the next world. However, as said, he has taken his platform back with the masters, because he is a true master, and he's happy, so we shouldn't be sad. However, talking about excuses, now this is something we do tend to do. We tend to give excuses as to why we can't, why we can't exercise. Oh, I'm not feeling great, I'm too tired today, I've got a headache, I've got pain in my body, I'm just too busy. All of these different excuses we throw in there. Well, actually, that's all they are. They are excuses. I've done it myself time and time again. And then I catch myself out. Like today, I realised when I was having a workout, I thought, you know what, I'm making excuses. I could have been fitting this in somehow, but I make excuses. And as a nation, we're wonderful. We're wonderful. It's part of the ego working to get you out of something you don't necessarily want to do. But if you make exercise and moving your body something that you genuinely enjoy doing, then your ego isn't going to interfere so much, putting these blocks and these excuses in your way to stop you from doing that. So, like I said, just make it fun. Make it fun, make it exciting. It doesn't have to be a chore. It doesn't have to be anything tedious. Today as I was exercising, And I thought, right, I'll start off with doing a bit of a power exercise, incorporating a few Taebo moves, some aerobics, a bit of dancing, and I just put some tunes on, so a bit more upbeat, the tunes, and I'm just going at it for a good 20 minutes. And what amused me so much is my cat, Isis, named after the goddess of love. She was just making me giggle so much, because as I was doing more of a power workout, she was going crazy. I think she herself was going a little bit crazy with the music, with the vibrations that I was giving off. And it's as if she was having a little boogie herself. She was zipping up and down my daughter's bed. She was bolting herself around me as I'm trying to work out. She's sort of all around me, bolting in and out the room. She just went on a bit of a mad one. And so she was making me giggle. And the minute I turned, like, switched the music to some more relaxing music, and I finished off then with 20 minutes doing a bit of yoga. And the minute I did that, and the music changed, and I went into sort of slower movements, she changed. And you know, before she was ragging my yoga mat, she was going a bit mental, she was being really playful, and then she changed, and it's as if she did a couple of little stretches, and then she just went next to me, and she just curled up, and she just rested there watching me. And yeah, her whole energy changed as mine changed. So remember that as well. When we are, you know, she became more relaxed. The more relaxed my state became as I was then moved on to doing the yoga. When I was giving out more of a high energy and you know, and enjoying what I was doing, she was feeding from that energy, and she was loving it. She was enjoying it herself. And remember that when we are giving out that higher impact energy, others, whether there's anyone in the house with you or not, or in the gym or wherever you are radiating that energy for others to feed from. You are going to be helping others just by putting that wonderful energy out there. Let me see, she's just here next to me right now. Let's see if I can give, so you can give her a little wave. Hey baby, here is my beautiful Isis. You're my cat. If you're not happy with me right now, have I just disturbed you from your sleep? Yes, you've had enough moving your body today. Oh. Oh, this gorgeous girl. She's another story in herself. And you'll read all about how she came into our family, and how she's linked to us, not just in this lifetime, but from many, many lifetimes, isn't it? Yeah. And yeah, those eyes are rolling. You should have left me, Mummy. She was comfortable. That's what she's telling me, isn't it? Is that what you was telling me? I'm letting the world say hello to you. So, I let her go back down for her sleep. So yeah, remember that you're helping other people as well as helping yourself, and you're giving off that high energy and that vibration. And also, you know, the more aware you start to become of your body, you're also more aware of how your body feels, especially after eating certain foods. Now, if you're eating a lot of fatty, stodgy food, if you're eating a lot of high sugary foods, especially with the sugary foods, you might feel instant highs, but your body's going to burn out quite quickly, and then you're going to crash, and you're going to feel quite lethargic and low, not just in mood, but in energy. So start being a bit wiser with what you're putting into your body. Refined sugar has been one of the last things that I have slowly started whittling out of my diet. Very rarely, but occasionally, I will still have a little bit of refined sugar in certain foods, but very rarely. Over these last few years, I became quite aware of a gluten intolerance that I had, which once I cut that out of my diet, it just changed my life, changed my body. changed my mindset, everything. So for me, gluten was actually something that was impacting me in quite a negative way, because I didn't realize I had such a reaction to it all those years. So that was the first big thing. And then the next thing that I did was eliminate meat and dairy. Eventually, after a year of that, I became fully vegan. Now, I have another friend who is a spiritual light worker, a beautiful incarnated angel who can also help you and inspire you in many ways. If you can subscribe to her YouTube channel, her channel is Amber's Angelic Light. She is again another beautiful friend of mine, a blessing to have come into my life. And she has put some videos up talking about being a vegan and the benefits, and for herself how she feels. She's also put some kind of highlighted some documentaries and things you can watch if you like. Not necessarily, well, yes, to encourage you, I suppose, to be a vegan, but it's not, this is something, it's a massive thing that it has to come from the heart if you are going to make that choice. It has to come from the heart. It has to come from a place of passion, because what you don't want to do is let yourself down. And unless you're doing it for all the right reasons, then you're going to keep letting yourself down, and you're going to feel guilty every time you do that. So, becoming a vegan, it's a huge life choice, and especially if you've always enjoyed your meat over the years and certain dishes, and but it is doable, and it is one of the best changes to my diet that I've ever made. It's one of the best choices in life that I've ever made. Being vegan, it has so many health benefits, and you will start to feel that as well. You'll start to feel that not only, and this is not one of the, well, it is one of the perks of being a vegan, that you will find that you do start to drop weight, and it just makes you realize just how much fat is in different meats. No matter how much they tell you they've tried to drain the fat out, the fat is also within the hormones that are embedded into the muscles of that meat. Because what we have to remember is any suffering the animal went through at the end of their life, which every animal will have suffered in some way. Animals are far more aware than we give them credit for, and they know when their time is about to come. And yes, they are also afraid of that time. So any suffering that the animal has been through towards the end of their life, as with human beings, it projects an influx of cortisol hormones that floods the body instantly, and these hormones are potent, they're toxic, they are what's known as the stressor hormones. Now, especially if these animals have been suffering for long periods of time before their death, so say if they haven't been kept well in the first place on a particular farm, or chickens in, and even the eggs, what goes into the eggs, from battery farms, and even those that claim to be free range, they still only have quite minimal space. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty here for the choices that you personally make in life. I'm just giving you facts, actually. And because I'm trying to help you ultimately in your well-being. As I said, mind, body and soul, it all goes together. So as the body floods with all this cortisol, especially if it's had prolonged exposure to this cortisol, because the animal's been kept in not a very good way and it's been under a lot of stress throughout, then the meat that you are eating is riddled with that stress hormone. And what happens then is, when that goes into you, those hormones then transmute, and they become your stress to the body, and they impact the body in a very similar way to what the body being exposed to our own cortisol neurons and chemicals, it will react in a similar way. So it will start to break down and toxify your own body. And hence what happens then is that the fat cells also react to cortisol, and cortisol has an impact on our fat cells by making them want to absorb more. So it actually expands fat cells so that the fat cells now need more to absorb, to feel satisfied as well, so that the body and the stomach feel satisfied with what you've eaten. So, you know, just another little fact about meat, and not just meat but dairy products, because if milk's coming from the cow, that milk, just as any mother breastfeeding their baby, we have to be aware of what we're eating and what medicines we take and things like that, because we are aware that if we're breastfeeding, that these things are going to be passed on to our children. And it's the same with cows, with goats, with, you know, when their milk is being taken, it's still going to carry high levels of this cortisol and different stressor hormones that are coming from them going into the milk that we are then consuming. And pasteurizing it, cleaning it, is not going to take those chemicals away. Them chemicals are embedded within the very liquid that it's gone into. So yeah, and you know, as a nation, there are some very higher, well, they're not higher figures, but for example, people who give life insurance, people are actually very aware of this. They are very aware that just being vegetarian, you are immediately healthier than your average Joe, immediately. By being vegan, you're even healthier. And it's kind of put down that, oh no, because if you're vegan, you're going to be lacking. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to build muscle. You're not going to be able to have the energy to do all this exercise. And it's all myth. It's not true. I have lots of energy. I'm bouncing around most of the time. I have plenty of energy. And, you know, everybody I know who is vegan will tell you the same thing. My husband, he used to do a lot of bodybuilding, and he's starting to train to get back into that, and he's not having any problems. The fact that he's a vegan, he's not having any problems. You just have to be aware of where you can get your sources of protein and different things from certain natural foods, and it's all out there. So yeah, you know, life insurance. When you apply for life insurance, you are going to get the best quote if you tell them that you're vegetarian or vegan. I'm not saying to anybody to lie. Never lie. Stand in your truth. However, because I'm sure they will find out when you're on, you know, when that day comes. But yeah, it's known, it's out there. People know that we are healthier if we are vegetarian, if we are vegan. We are just healthier automatically because we're not riddled with certain toxins and all of this stressor hormones and everything that come from other animals and products. And also with that, energy, as I was saying, energy that gets clogged in the body is also and we're trying to shift that energy, stress energy. It can clog up, it can get into certain joints, and it can clog into the spine, into the muscles. So yeah, movement is great to get rid of that energy, but also remember the energy that is carried from the fear of those animals that have suffered in order to feed your belly. Because that's what it is, ultimately. You might not think that, well, I've not played a part in killing it and all of that, and, you know, which no, because you probably are somebody that could never kill an innocent creature. You're quite happy to let someone else do it, but you couldn't even watch that happen a lot of the times, and then to eat it. We try to turn a blind eye to that kind of suffering just so that we can enjoy the meat that's placed in front of us. And it's, you know, this is not a bad thing. There is no judgment being put out here, but this is just how we are. I used to be the same when I was younger. There was a part of me that knew, yeah, I used to think, oh, but I love my KFC and I love this and I love eating that, and it was, I didn't want to feel guilty about what I was eating, so I chose to turn a blind eye. Now remember that that animal, through its trauma, has suffered. That fear that's being projected, that becomes like an energy that again is also becomes like a residual energy that is embedded within the meat, within the products that you are having, and when you consume that meat, those eggs, that milk, when you are consuming that, you are consuming the fear, you are consuming the nightmare, the heartache, you are consuming all the toxins, and on a physical level as well as an energetic level. So this is also something to bear in mind. Now, you know, I don't want to make this video dismal. I don't want anybody to feel guilty of what you're listening to. If in any way you're feeling slightly guilty about anything you've heard me speak about right now, it's probably because your heart is screaming to you, you know what, this lady, she's right. And your heart knows it's right. And this is why your heart, if you feel any guilt whatsoever, this is why, because your heart always knows it's right from wrong. It knows what's right for you, what's wrong for you. And this is not any higher judgment. This is not any God or anybody else looking onto you, judging you. This is what comes from your own heart, okay? We are an evolving nation, and part of that evolution eventually is going to be us waking up to the fact that when the Bible says that man sit on top of this like hierarchy, that we are the ones in charge, if you like, and all other creatures and beings come below us. This is not because we are the top of the food chain. This has been the biggest misinterpretation over the longest time. It is not because we're on top of the food chain by any means whatsoever. If we are on top of the food chain, it is because we are intelligent enough to have created the tools and the weapons to kill other beasts that, if we were placed in front of, would devour us in seconds, and we wouldn't stand a chance. Okay, not with our bare hands. Therefore, how can we come on top of the food chain? But what puts us at the top is because we have the intelligence to create these weapons, even to be able to overtake and overpower these different beasts, okay, God's creatures. Now, if it wasn't for all of that, then there is no way we'd be at the top of the food chain. What puts us there is our intelligence. We have been blessed with the intelligence to help the world evolve, to be intelligent enough as to know when it's time to change, so that we can make our lives better for ourselves, for our children, for the animals. We are not just the mindful intelligence, but the heart intelligence, the intelligence that takes all animals and loves them as our family. We are the intelligence that can take dogs and cats and birds and, you know, have these pets and bring them in as part of our family and say that we love them. There are few other animals in the animal kingdom that will actually adopt and take on different animal breeds and creatures to what they are, but we have the heart intelligence to embrace and to love no matter what. We have that. We have the intelligence to cook different foods. We have the intelligence as to know exactly, through our sciences and our knowledge and our research, where we can get the foods we need to give us a healthy, balanced diet, to give us a healthy body. And that knowledge does not have to touch one animal. It does not have to take from any other creature. It takes only from what the Mother Earth provides. And everything that the Mother Earth provides is everything and all we ever need. Okay? Our teeth, they're not sharp like different meat eaters, because we were never meant to be meat eaters. In all of our physical evolution over the years, if we are going to go with that theory of evolution, we have never had such sharp teeth, because we were never built to eat animals. Okay. Our bodies have evolved and adapted because that is something we started to do more and more. So internally, we adapted to be able to break down those meats. But we are very intelligent, knowledgeable beings, and it is with that heart and mind intelligence that puts us on the top. That is what puts us on top. With our intelligence, when any one of these creatures below are suffering, we have the intelligence and the know-how, how to help these suffering animals. If if a tiger's hurt its foot, if a monkey's broke its arm, if a cow is struggling in labour, we have vets and we have different people who are intelligent to help all these different creatures. So that is what puts us on top. But ultimately, getting back to the point, so yes, being vegan can help you massively. And as I said, I've given you one avenue of how to look at if you were ever thinking about becoming vegan, or if you've been thinking it for a long time but you're just looking for that oomph to give you the absolute passion and the drive. If what I've said is not enough for you, please do visit my dear friend Amber's Angelic Light, not only her Facebook page but her YouTube channel, and she's done some videos on being vegan and how she's got on with being vegan. She gives some great tips and advice about different recipes and ways of coping with being vegan. So yeah, please do visit her pages and subscribe to her channel. And as I was saying earlier about excuses, we're always giving excuses, whether it's excuses of why we can't be a vegan, whether it's excuses as why we're not moving our bodies enough, why we're not exercising, all these things that ultimately we are doing for ourselves. We are doing as a part of nurturing and looking after ourselves, giving time, love to ourselves. And yeah, excuses. And I mentioned Dr. Wayne Dyer earlier, and then I came away from him. I'm sorry, when I go off on a tangent, I do that sometimes. But I've come back to him. So I found my trail. But I wanted to say to you, Dr. Wayne Dyer, so he has this book out called Excuses Be Gone. Don't know if you can see that. That's a picture of his book, Excuses Be Gone. And it's a great book in just, telling you, kind of giving you an idea of how the human mind works, and why we sometimes put these excuses to block our path in front of us, and why we think we're not good enough, from society, from what we've learned, and TV, whatever it might be. Maybe being mollycoddled a little bit from a child, and we've grown up with that feeling of, poor me, and the way that we go about looking after ourselves when we're not really looking after ourselves. So yeah, it's a great book. And he also, and I'm showing you the back of this children's book that he did fantastically, and I love that there's all these children's books coming out to help kids be, oh look, 10% off. Probably couldn't have afforded it otherwise. But I love how there's all these inspirational books coming out for kids now as well, to help teach them from a young age all these wonderful things. But yeah, the adult version is Excuses Be Gone. So if you are somebody that is always putting excuses in your way, trying to find time, always making yourself too busy, these are obstacles that we place on our own paths. And if we assess them properly, we can probably remove some of these obstacles ourselves. But as a motivational book as well, and a self-help book, the Excuses Be Gone book is a fantastic one for you to read to help you on your path. So in regards to exercise as well, and I've mentioned yoga because I love yoga. Yoga is a wonderful one for stretching out the body, but also very powerful at removing blockages within the central column, within our core. I haven't brought the information with me. My cousin sent me some great yoga DVDs for people who find yoga a little bit too slow and boring. It incorporates a bit of cardio into the yoga workouts as well. But I'm sure that if you Google, you can probably find a selection of different yoga DVDs and exercises for you to follow. But no matter what exercise you've been doing, you should always start and finish with a few stretches. You know, you don't want to damage your body. You don't want to give yourself another excuse for not working out for the next few days or weeks or however long you think you're going to need to recover from that. So it is important to stretch. So learning a bit of yoga can be fantastic, just to do 5 minutes before and 5-10 minutes after, after a powerful workout. It just helps to calm the body back down. It helps to slow everything back down. It helps to stretch out the muscles again. And after any exercise is the best time for you to meditate also, because through exercise you have cleared out all the blockages, and you've also put your body into a state and the mind into a state where it's actually now quite awake from all that movement. The blood's flowing, so the mind is quite awake. The headspace is being unclogged, it's being unblocked. So when you go into meditation, a lot of people say to me, oh, you know, when I meditate and I fall to sleep. Well, this is the best time to meditate, because you've given your body a good energetic clear out. You've raised your vibrations. You've helped your blood pressure. You've given to yourself massively to help yourself in mind, body and soul. And yeah, any meditation that follows after that will be wonderful. Okay, and it's just a lovely way to finish off any workout. Even if you can just give yourself 5 minutes in meditation after, it's a beautiful way to finish. And yeah, it helps you to open more doors and unblock certain energy fields and blockages that you have there, to help to give you a better meditation. So please do look up the two dear friends that I have mentioned, Amber's Angelic Light and Lulu Fitness, my dear friend Louise Adams. And if you can, read the book Excuses Be Gone by Dr Wayne Dyer, and have a look at some of his other books. He's got some fantastic books out. His legacy shall live on. His vessel may be gone, but his legacy shall live on forever. So move your body. I hope that that's helped you somehow, and I hope I haven't scared you off or made you feel guilty in any way, with all of my talks of veganism and giving you a bit of a kick up the bottom, maybe to move your body, to exercise. I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it to be mean or to push you in any way. I'm just giving you the information. That's all I'm doing, and sharing some of my own experiences with you and my own knowledge with you in helping you to feel wonderful as a whole in mind, body and soul. So don't forget, moving your body is a very important aspect of that. Loving you always. Angel blessings.